Okay, we're here in the booth, and let's start up here. We've got the QU16 that was donated, and we've got that incorporated in and all set up, and we'll come back to that. We've got the rack here beside it, and let's just go down from the top to the bottom. The top unit is our power distro. Basically, think of it as a power strip that's mounted in the rack. Let's start by powering the system on right here. And when we power on that big rocker switch just on the top of the rack here, everything will come on except the Voco Pro mics. So you'll have to manually turn those on. They don't stay on like everything else does. And then the console will come on as well, and you'll be ready to go. And then under that is our Voco Pro headsets for children's theater. They go by letter, and that letter is printed very large on the each belt pack, so it's really easy to identify who's who, and being able to make those volume adjustments right here on the unit. Each one of these units, this is 2 units, 2 4-channel units. Each one of these units has a single output. So if you'll notice on the console, we've got I, J, K, L, and then beside that M, N, O, P. So they all come into those 2 channels. But basically, if there's any volume control that needs to be done between the different actors, you can do so on the unit itself. Under that is our faithful Shure BLX systems. These are handheld microphone receivers. The microphones right now, we've got them set up. You can see right there on the stage, on the stands. So those sound great. And those on the mixer are right here, wireless, A, B, C, and D. And we decided to go with letters because Voco Pro was already doing that. They set the precedence. So, and we've got those labeled on each handheld as well. And how those go here is A, B, C, D. Right under that is our antenna distro. It looks like a blank plate with a green light on it. That's basically pulling all of our antennas together so that we only have 2 antennas instead of a whole forest of them in the back, and amplifies them as well. Now under that is our Denon DN500 CB media player. We just have it labeled CD on the board, but it's actually an all-in-one media player. There is a slot CD player right here, but if you'll notice, there's also a thumb drive reader for media, for music, and there's also an auxiliary input for an auxiliary cable. There are, and the other thing that we've got, as you see on the screen, it says Bluetooth pairing. It's ready to pair. It has a Bluetooth receiver that is pretty darn powerful, and the how you select between those is just the first button. This first button is the only button that you really need to know about, and it allows us to cycle between all of the inputs. Now we're back. Over here you've got just simple toggles that work on the USB, Bluetooth, and CD, which is your search forward, stop, play, pause, and then the dial here, turned left is to track back, turn right is to track forward. This button also, this knob also pushes in for a enter button. If it ever asks you a question that you need to confirm, just push in on that button. This also has a tempo knob, which is really nice for dance recitals. You can actually slow down music for rehearsals and things like that without changing the actual key or pitch of the song. To pair with the media player, make sure that it's in Bluetooth mode, and then on your phone you're going to search for the model number in your Bluetooth settings. You're going to pair with DN500CB, and if something is already paired to it, like my phone is, you're not going to be able to pair to it. So you want to make sure that if you're pairing for the first time, that no one else is paired to it, or it will lock it in, which is a great thing. It keeps other people from getting to connect to it in awkward moments. But and then once you are connected, you can actually control your device here with the toggles. Under that, we've got two drawers. This top one is where all of our headsets, right now they're on the stage down there, all laid across, you can see them. Those are actually stored in here. And then underneath, this is where our wireless handhelds could go. So basically, that's the way we're going to leave it set up. Of course, you can adjust it any way you want after that. Underneath here is our Dynacord amplifier. This is a power amp that's pushing all of our speakers, powering all of our speakers, but it also has quite a bit of intelligence built into it so that we're able to adjust a lot of things and right here within the amplifier, particular to the system that we have. The speakers themselves, we've got 4 total speakers. The first is the TOA HX7. This is a high intelligibility speaker that's marketed for reflective spaces, and so it fits the bill and it sounds great. It has a really wide coverage, so it actually can cover all of the way, basically from this table is included in the coverage area, and so is this one. But when you get up here in the booth, especially running sound, you may have trouble hearing that speaker. So we've installed pendants up here in the balcony area, and we've got 1, 2, and 3 pendant speakers, and those have been adjusted and time aligned so that you get good sound up here as well. Let's shift over to the console and we'll go through the way we've got it set up, and then we can do some more in-depth training later if we need to. So you can see we've got some labels on here, wireless A, B, C, D, and then the headsets on the 2 channels, and then we've got CD left and right. The reason that we brought the CD player in on 2 channels is because you can use split tracks with this system, so that if you have instruments on one side and vocals on the other, you can make those adjustments here and bring one out or the other one. Over here, the 1 through 8 basically corresponds to the 8 channels on the Stage Snake, which is located, actually it's just sitting on top of the microwave right now, but it's behind the gray curtain there, and that's just an extension of these 8 channels, these first 8 channels here. We've got 4 different outputs on this mixer. Over here you can see mix 1, mix 2, mix 3, mix 4. All of those are also sent to the Snake, and so if I push one of those mixes, that's going to be mix 1 on the Snake, or actually it's going to be the output 1 on the Snake, output 2 on the Snake, output 3 on the Snake, output 4 on the Snake. And then when I go to those, of course, we'll talk about this more in depth, but I can adjust whatever is going to that output just like it's the main system. And then, of course, when I go back to the main system by pushing this off, I'm back to my main settings. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the digital console. Digital consoles are really convenient because they've taken a lot of the complications. The old analogs had like knobs everywhere and buttons and stuff, so they folded a lot of that under the hood, and they've given us just basic, clean volume control. At its most basic level, that's all we're doing is adjusting volume level for the house in here. Anybody can sit down here, read a label, turn it up or turn it down. However, there across you see the green knobs here. If we push one of the green knobs, then we're able to access that channel's internal settings. And so you can see right now I've got the wireless A selected, and everything that I see here is now for that channel. And so I can touch the EQ and make adjustments to the EQ just by touching some of the settings, coming over here to this main knob right here and changing it there. Likewise, I can push the gain right here and make adjustments here. I do have other quick knobs over here. This is for the equalizer, the gate compressor, and all of that, so I can use those as well on the fly. but for me it's easier just to go into those things and use the knob here to make those adjustments. So everything that we're doing, every volume adjustment we make in this setting, everything I make here for the channel is across the board. However, this is only for the main. So let's say we plug in a powered monitor on the stage and they're plugged into output 1 on the Snake. Well, how do I make adjustments to their monitor so that they can hear what they want to hear and not necessarily everything in the house? Well, all I need to do is go over here to the side and you see these blue buttons. You've got mix 1, mix 2, mix 3, and mix 4. These are actually alternate outputs for the console, and when I push one, the entire volume section now is dedicated to that output. And everything that I do here is only affecting that output and not the mains, not any of the other outputs. And so I can make adjustments if they want a little bit of wireless A, wireless B, wireless C, and wireless D, but they don't want anything else in that monitor. We got them covered. Maybe they plugged a guitar into number 1 over here, so let's turn that up as well. So now I can go back here and turn off mix 1, and everything that I'm now looking at is the house again. Everything I do here only affects the house. It doesn't affect any of the other outputs. And if I go back to mix 1, you can see it saved my settings, so I don't have to worry about that. It's there when I come back to it. One of the great benefits of a digital console, besides the different mix outputs and being able to do all that and have an infinite control of things under the hood, is right here. This is the scene button. Now I can push this button and it takes me to a different page. On this page, you can see that I've got a list here of empty blocks, and that's actually where I can store all of the settings of the console. So in other words, if I push 1 and I name that, I can name that initial Binsberg. Well, I've run out of spaces, so let's just call it Binsberg. Setup. See if that'll fit. Yep, okay. Binsberg setup. And so we're going to say OK. And now what we're going to do is we're going to store. It's going to say, do you want to? Yes. So now you can see I've got Binsberg setup here. Now this is really neat because if everything gets messed up, and it will. So if everything gets messed up and kids, just blah, 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 they're like, oh no, just ahead of a show and everything's wrong. We don't have time for another sound check. Well, all I have to do is I'll just hit the scenes button. I'll push Binsberg setup and I will recall right here. Recall. Oops. Cancel. Recall. There we go. It says, do you want to recall this? Are you sure? Yes. And you can see, you heard it, but you didn't see it, but all of the sliders went back to where they were originally. Not only that, all of the internal settings, if they were adjusted, they were also reset back to whatever we saved under that block. And you can save many different blocks so that you can have different things going on in one day and do one big sound check, set up everything for the whole day for each different band or different act or anything like that. And so one thing that I know the Art Center uses this for is they will actually have different scenes in a play under there. So they will just, for the next scene, they'll just go to the next one and load it, go to the next one and load it. And so you can use it that way as well. I believe there's a way to do that on the mobile app on the iPad so that you can actually do it a lot more quickly. All of our microphones are just simple one-button mics. In other words, it's just an on-off, just push, and the light will turn green on the handhelds. Push it again, and they turn off. They all hold AA batteries, and the batteries are very easily accessible, one on each side, and there's a finger hole in the middle, so you can pop them out, very easily that way. On the headset microphones, They're just a little bit more unwieldy, but you can see what we're talking about. There's a letter and a color on each one, so kids could easily identify those, I think. But you have to press on the sides on the door, and it opens that way, and there are AA batteries. And then make sure it clicks. The power button is actually on top. If we hold it down until it turns green. Now on these, there's a mute. So if I just bump it, it turns orange, which means it's just muted, but it's still powered on. So I have to hold it down until it turns off. Our stage snake actually comes down back here, and you can see what we were talking about. We've got 8 inputs here. We've got 4 outputs. And so that can be connected to, you've got a little bit of slack, you can bring it out here on the floor. And then we've included 6 50-foot microphone cables over here, so that you can connect anything from the stage over to the stage snake. We've also included 2 of the Galaxy boom mics. These are actually choir style microphones, but they actually work really good to amplify the entire stage. And but how to operate these is, it's just a basic microphone base, stand base, but then you've got adjustment here to angle it, and then you loosen this to extend it, and then retighten it. Very easy to operate, very powerful microphones. It'll come in really handy. On our portable PA system here, once we've got it all assembled, basically, we've got 2 just plastic filler towers, and then our speaker tower that sits on top. And they just very easily just slide together. And then they slide into the socket on the top of the subwoofer. Once it's set up, you come back here, and the power button is on the very bottom next to the power cable. Right now we've got the dual wireless microphone receiver plugged into channels 1 and 2 right here on the back, and those volume adjustments are the white knobs right here. Red knob is our master volume adjustment. So we've just got this kind of sitting here, and our 2 microphones, we've actually got other volume control here on the front, we just have those turned all the way up, which seems to be fine. We want to make sure the antennas are clear, so we've just got it kind of propped there so that you can see the antennas from out front. The handheld microphones are really easy to operate on this system. They have one, instead of a button, they have a actual slider, and you just slide it up, and testing 1 2, and they work. There's a halfway is mute, all the way is on. So, and then on the back you can see this just slides off, and they just hold a single AA battery. Let's talk about the Bluetooth. There's Bluetooth built into the PA system here on the last channel. So we've got 3 mic channels, and then this last one is a stereo, but this is a Bluetooth channel. It also has an auxiliary input, but I can push down this button. Right now it's paired to my phone, but if I push it down, it turns it off. If I hold it down and starts blinking, it means it's looking for a device, and it's paired to mine instantly. But what you're looking for, it'll pop up Stage Pass 1K in your Bluetooth settings. Once you have it connected, this is your volume control. Besides the volume control on your phone, this is the volume control for that channel. The green here is an EQ setting, and it's a kind of an intuitive little thing that they've developed so that you can turn it to the left and it's tuned more for voice, for someone speaking. If you turn it to the right, it's more tuned for music. All it's doing really is punching the bass up a little bit on it when you turn it. But so on the 2 handheld microphones, we've got it turned more toward voice. If we turn it too much, it sounds a little canny, so we've got it adjusted there. On the Bluetooth, let's turn it more toward music. Let's turn it all the way to music, and now everything that this little thing puts out is going to be punchy and clear for music playback. All of the other ones on here are reverb for the microphones. We can turn that on right there and make adjustments with that one knob. And then monitor right here is the outputs on the back if we want to go to another unit. And then these two are pretty, this is mono or stereo mode. We'll just leave it in stereo mode. It doesn't seem to affect anything we're doing right now. So, but this other one is a control mode. This is basically, there's an app where you can make EQ settings and all kinds of stuff to the unit by connecting it to it there. Not really necessary, so it's not something that we really want to mess with too much. But all in all, that is the unit itself, and pretty easy to operate. When it all breaks down, this little bag slides over the subwoofer, and you can open it up here and grab the handle to carry it around. And then in the front here, there's 3 pockets for the 3 column sections.